Testing, testing. Hello? Hello. We're just going now. Good morning, everybody. This is the Australian Institute of Professional Photography's State Print Awards. We're judging today, this morning, we're starting here, the 2019 AIPP EPSON SANT. So it's both South Australia and Northern Territory Professional Photography Awards. This is a super exciting event that travels around the states, and here we are in South Australia and joined by the Northern Territory. And there are live stream watchers out there. I don't know if you're up early Sunday morning and not in church. It's 9 o'clock in the morning here because everyone goes to church still, don't they? Hey? I'd be out sailing if I had a half the chance. And this morning, I would like to, as the opening side of things, I want to thank the Australian Institute of Professional Photography for putting this event on, because this is a highly valued educational experience. If you're watching on the live stream, I suggest you stay glued to it because it's incredible. And we'll actually keep the stream saved so you can go back and watch them at a later date and listen to it. But this is a very long process. It's about a day and a half, 2 days. So it's a lot of watching. It's like Game of Thrones starting again. I want to thank the board for making this happen, the State Council and our National Awards team for putting it all together, which is fantastic. So congratulations, AIPP, for putting this on. Importantly, we're at Marden Senior College here in South Australia. And I want a big thank you out to Marden and Malcolm Sheffers, who puts this together. Come on, clap, everybody. This is a free venue, and it's a really good venue, and there's parking, and you don't get that for nothing most places. So this is incredible. And while I say there's parking, this is open to the public. So if you're watching and you're lying in your bed and your doon is getting a bit hot and all that stuff, get out from under the covers and come down, because it's actually worth seeing these prints in the flesh and listening to the judges talk. You do miss something by watching online. I also want to thank our fabulous volunteers, because this whole thing happens because people are doing something for nothing and making it happen. So we've got some print handlers out the back. We've got Beck, we've got Joelle, Nicole, Daisy and Kelly. Big clap for them. We have a national office team out the back of Sue Lewis and Carla. Thank you for coming over here. They make us look like we know what we're doing, which is really what we desperately need to do. Okay, I also want to introduce the judges, because today we're going to start with a family category sponsored by CR Kennedy. CR Kennedy have been a sponsor of the AIPP for many years, and we're incredibly grateful for their time and attention. Thank you, CR Kennedy. Introducing our judges. So what I'll do is I'll give you who's judging today, and then I'll give you who's on the panel to start with. So we have David Hattie, a local portrait photographer. David, welcome. Gary Cranich from Queensland, underwater photographer, commercial photographer. Absolutely fantastic having your skill here and your calming influence on us all, your professionalism. We've got Mel Newman, the national president, our freshly minted national president. Go South Australia represent. We've got George Fragopoulos from Northern Territory, wedding portrait photographer, fine artist, incredible photographer, well done, welcome. We've got Victoria Barrick Mary +1. Hello, Vicky. Welcome. Vicky's a birth photographer, portrait, and a commercial photographer. She does a lot of different things. Laurie Cicchini from the ACT, portraits, commercial, and fashion is your specialty. Incredible fashion work. Welcome. We're so thrilled. You're allowed to clap yourself. You're a volunteer. You're giving your time up. Clap away. And finally, our State President, G. Greenslade, on this judge. Thank you so much, G. Welcome. And sitting out the panel at the moment, we've got Mel, we've got G, we've got George, we've got Laurie and Gary. So we're going to use these interstaters and make them suffer in this family category. And I think we are close to doing the preamble now for what this category means. Is everyone ready for that? Okay, have I not forgot anyone to thank? Oh, me. Thank me. Panel chair, Paul Atkins, and Kate Ellis, assistant panel chair. Yay. We get a clap. So this is the category preamble. I'm going to read it so that I get the same thing everyone else gets. This category is intended for images that reflect what domestic photographers sell or aim to sell to their clients. The family category will be judged in two sections: family open and family single capture. The category is judged in two sections to assist judges in their assessment. However, there is only one award. Entries into this category must be commissioned by the family depicted in the entry. Your entry does not have to be the photograph you sold to your client, but it must be from the same photography session. Images of members of your immediate family are prohibited. Polytips, diptychs, triptychs, that means lots of pictures in one, are permitted in both sections. So what we're going to start off with is family open. Family open entrance must use all may use, you don't have to use all of them, everything. Be like when we first got Photoshop and just everyone did everything. Diffuse glow and laser beams. Yep, you've done all that, haven't you, G? Entrance may utilise all post-production techniques, including multiple images or elements in producing their entry. Whereas family single capture, which we're judging later on, this section is intended to reward technical and creative excellence in photographing and presenting an authentic representation of a scene without the benefit of creative compositing techniques. Are we clear with that, gang? All right. Are we starting with, have I started the wrong one? We're starting with open, are we?
Yes, single capture.
Okay, so there you go. If I read my screen, I would know what I'm doing. Open is for later, so open's the wild and woolly, let's get everything done, but single capture is the heart of what the family category is about. So let's start judging. First print, please. We're missing some scores. G? George? Laurie? Let me just... Sue? I'm just going to... I'll wait till it gets this. So we just got to... The scores aren't coming through here. Reload the page. Apologies for that technical trickery. We're just... Yes, it wouldn't be the awards without something being a little bit sticky. Well, we've got everyone but Laurie's. Okay, so we have an average of 76. we have a potential. You'd like to challenge, yes. We've got a challenge from Laurie on 81. I'm going to accept that challenge. Laurie, would you like to comment?
Okay, I awarded this image based on the fact that when it first turned around, it gave me a sense of capturing a beautiful moment that tells me something emotional about little kids and their curiosity. The kids have got this beautiful nature of being so present in the moment, and it's something that they can't pose. You can just see it in their expressions. A moment of curiosity, looking into, whatever it is that they're looking at. And I just thought it was beautifully captured, and that I felt giving it an award was
Worthy.
worthy.
Good. Melissa, can I please hear from you, because you are close to the average?
Yeah, sure. Professional practice, definitely. I felt that the tree branch or whatever that is at the bottom was actually quite heavy on what was a very soft, sensitive subject, and that some of the background with the blown out highlights, particularly the one on the right hand side, was just a little bit too distracting and pulling my gaze from wanting to look at the little kids there. But I agree in the fact that it is a really good little capture of that, but I think it sits better for me in the professional practice range.
So, Laurie, do you want to... Oh, Gary, did you want to comment? Okay, Laurie, would you like to...
Close it off? Yeah, look, I think the actual background itself gave that little bit of beautiful little mystery, almost magical moment for me. So I thought, I felt that the actual selection of how they've captured this image sort of worked well. The bottom part of the tree trunk there, for me, it didn't really tear it away, and I guess that's why initial impact for me was emotional. So, and that's why I went straight for an award.
Thanks, Laurie. Well argued. Okay, can we please all rescore? Well, we've raised it by a point. Well done. So it's now 77. Congratulations. Now, 77 is high professional practice, which is excellent and well deserving. Can we have our next print, please? For those of you at home who are interested in the challenge question, one of the scores differed by 5 points from the average, and that allows that person to begin a challenge and start a discussion about it. It's one of the hearts of this judging system. Well, this print scores an average of 80. It's a silver award. That's excellent. Laurie, could I ask you to make a comment on this, just for the entrant?
Yeah, look. Greetings. Okay. Again, initial impact on this was the story that's been told and resolved. I think for me, it would have maybe brought my score up higher. The background I felt had added nothing to the story, or the blown out highlights. Perhaps if it had been cropped a little bit tighter, because the top part of the image really brings nothing to the story at all, and it would have closed it off and not brought my attention to that top part of that left-hand side of the image, which was distracting. So perhaps, if that's something that would help.
Great. That's super helpful. Thank you. Just before we do, I'm going to take an advantage here to change the judge. Now, I know it's unusual to do it so early, G, but I'd love to put Victoria in her place because her little one's asleep. So we have a little bit of time now where we can Hopefully we don't wake the bubs up. But whilst it's asleep, we shall make good use. So can we have our next print, please? We're judging the 2019 AIPP EPSON SA and NT Professional Photography Awards, proudly sponsored by C.R. Kennedy. Thanks to C.R. Kennedy and EPSON. And we're doing the Family Single Capture category. Well, we have an average of a silver, so let's give that a quick clap. Is everyone happy with that? Can I please ask for a comment from, Melissa, thank you.
All right, I'll put this in the silver range. The balance in this image is really beautiful because you've got this beautiful foreground, background, which is balancing, and you've got this lovely light. It brings it into the silver range because of the way that this has technically mastered the elements. And it's again got that beautiful little story going on with the curiosity, and the children are fabulous. And I really love the little tiny bit of light at the bottom of the feet. It just really brings the eye around in a circle. So that's why I popped it in the silver range.
Thanks, George. Quick comment from you?
Yeah, just quick comment. Love the lighting, love the angle. Just watch the heavy vignetting around the image. And if you're going to take it to APPers, look at reprinting it, edited slightly different.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Can we have our next print, please? Wow, we've got another silver award. Congratulations on 80. Laurie, can I ask you to make a quick comment, please?
Greetings. I think it was a little bit tight for me, so perhaps if there was a little bit more room around the image, it'd stand out even more.
Excellent.
Well done, though.
Thank you, Laurie. All right, next print, please. Well, this print averages 79. Are we happy with that? We've got a challenge here from Gary. I'll accept your challenge.
I just thought this was quite a fantastic little moment. I've been this kid in the park, by myself in a dark, scary little place on my own, wandering around. It's a lovely balance, I just thought, between dark and moody and you know, the innocence of childhood, this inquisitive little face peering around behind a tree. So I was drawn to that sort of contrast between this lovely little innocent face and this dark, moody location. So I was straight into that area of I've been drawn into the picture because of those elements, two elements working together to create this sort of contradiction between innocence and darkness. So I was on 84 as a silver award. I don't think we're far off. We're a little bit to go there. So
Yeah, very close. George, can I ask you to follow up, please?
Yeah, I did love this concept, the story behind the kid peeking up from around the tree, and I could relate to this as a kid as well. What brought me down was the flatness of the print. Maybe some more contrast and lighting may have brought this out. There's also detail missing in the blacks. So more of a printing presentation part for it to come up to a silver for me.
Thanks, George. I would like, though, one further comment. Can I ask Victoria to make a quick comment?
I had the same thoughts. It is blocking up in the shadows, and I think it's just really the vignetting's a little bit harsh. But it does have fantastic mood, and the photographer's been successful in creating that, especially with the child's expression. It's beautiful.
Thanks, Victoria. Gary, your right of reply, please.
yeah, look, I was drawn to the mud. I wasn't particularly worried about the muddiness of that actually is, for me, that was part of the game, is the muddiness and murkiness, and then this lovely little bright cherub as the contrast. So had this been contrasty, hard and super black, I'm not sure that dark, moody muddiness would have come across. So, yeah.
All right, then. Can we please rescore? Gary, you're holding yours while it can't be edited. It's part of this challenge process. Wow, we're in the silver category at 82. Congratulations, judges. Well done. Can we have our next print, please? Yep, we're still in the same category. Single capture. Yep. Can we please have, let's grab David. Hattie. So we're judging the Family Award for the 2019 AIPP EPSON SANT Professional Photography Awards. Thanks to EPSON for putting this together, and the sponsor for this category is CR Kennedy. How fabulous is this? This is a single capture category of this particular family category. How much do I love these scores? We've got a majority 79, the print scoring, but we have a couple of opportunities here to challenge. I can see Gary from Queensland wishing to tour. I'll accept your challenge, Gary. I can see it in your eyes.
Could you tell me the announced score again?
It got a 79 by majority.
79, okay. Look, in terms of a single capture picture, which is what we're looking at, it's quite an incredible sort of piece of work. Pretty much straight out of camera, and away we go with a whole lot of elements all piecing together around this tiny little interaction moment in the middle between a mother and a daughter. it just reminded me so much of a page out of a children's fantasy book about fairies and things like that. So I was immediately drawn to just how well considered the whole thing has been put together in terms of a lovely little story. It's quite busy, but I find the busyness really interesting to follow it around. So I was at 88. Maybe we can sneak it up into a silver. We'll see how we go. But yeah, I was drawn to that fantasy idea.
Great. Laurie, I'm going to ask you to speak next, please.
Look, I totally agree. I was, when it came round, I was captivated by the fact that all of that was captured in camera and well thought and considered. However, when I sort of really looked at it closely, I was a little bit concerned about the skin tone on the baby and the fairy mother. And that's what held me back, that I thought that was something that could have been corrected and that would have brought it up for me considerably. So, yes, well done.
Good. I think it's worth getting a third voice. David Haddy, please.
Yes, it's a lovely set, and I think it's the set piece that makes the photographs, and it's captured with the reflection idea and all those sorts of elements. I think I've scored it 78, which is high professional practice, because the whole concept is there. To bring it up even further and bring it into that print award range where I would have put it, the light of this image is effectively coming from the lamp that the mother's holding. And yet down at the very bottom is evenly lit all the way through. So it's something perhaps for the photographer to look at, to get that mood, that extra little element that we've got the illusion that everything's coming from where the mother's holding a lamp.
Great. Gary, your right of reply, please.
Yeah, look, I wasn't particularly concerned about colour palette here because I think this is a fantasy situation. There's a tip to fantasy illustration in it. So, skin tone and colour palette here maybe starts to slide a little bit away given what else is going on. So I wasn't too worried about that side of things. I know that sounds a bit strange, but I just thought I was looking at a page out of a children's fantasy novel, and I was drawn to that lovely little concept. With the reflection story too, it's been really well done too. I haven't even spoken about that, but there we go. I was at 88. Let's see how we go.
Great. Let's rescore, please, everyone but Gary. Print stays at 79 by majority. Thank you very much for trying. Can we have our next print, please? Oh. Next. I'll just explain that majority comment, 79 by majority. It's because there were 3 scores in the 70s range that it does that. And that prevents judges sort of wildly trying to affect the score. And it overrides the average that's been calculated. Well, this print scores a silver award on 82. Is everybody happy with that? No, we have a challenge from Laurie. I'll accept your challenge. Dun,
Okay.
dun, dun.
I'm going into bat for this one. I think this is beautiful. This is not only well executed, well thought out. The colours in this are spectacular. Everything about this image for me was gold. However, I scored it at 88 because all I wanted more, and if the photographer's got this, is a little bit more space, perhaps around down the bottom. I would have gone straight into gold, but at silver distinctions where I put it into, where am I?
You are sitting on 88. In fact, Yeah, you're an 88. So you're high, you know,
So
silver.
5 points above the average. Was that the
Yeah, 82 was the average.
Okay, all right. So I'm pushing for it to go up to silver distinction for the fact that all of this is beautifully presented. It's technically, I couldn't fault it in technical terms, in terms of colour, in terms of imagination. In fact, where it says silver distinction, professional excellence, superior visual communication, imagination, craft, and skill. So let's bring it up to a silver distinction where it belongs.
Excellent. Excellent. Gary, I think you need to be next.
And look, I can hear what you're saying there about the lovely concept. I didn't jump with this one though because of the top half of the image competing against the lovely, soft, delicate nature of the middle of the image. They're really quite heavy elements, the top half, and the middle is lovely and soft, which is what I was drawn to as well. But I can keep listening to where you are, and I can certainly come up a few more points. I might have been a bit heavy and hard at 77, so I'm listening.
Okay. Laurie, would you like to have your reply, please?
So not to steal the words out of your mouth, this is like a storybook image. It's quite painterly. In fact, when you look at the background, how it is quite painterly, and then you've got the sharpness and the clarity of the subjects themselves. Look, all of this is exceptional. It's absolutely stunning. It should be a silver distinction. I don't know what you guys are looking at. Maybe you need to go and have a look at it again.
Bit of sass there. Okay, let's rescore, please. And Laurie, you're holding your score at 88. Wow. Well, we were an 85 average, which would have been a silver distinction, but we're 84 by majority, which puts us in that high silver category. But look, congratulations. It's still a worthy and a great argument. Well done. Let's do a judge's change. David, can I swap you out for Ms. Newman, please? Our national president. I can do that, you know. I have the microphone. Sorry. Okay, I won't do it again. Next print, please. Do you have to? So this print averages 75, which is in the middle of the professional practice range. Can I please ask for a comment from George?
Yeah, beautiful, high professional standard work. I think I would have loved to have seen this in colour. For me, it looked like a cheetah walking through the grass. Just watch the heavy vignetting on the bottom of the image as well, and be careful of the background. So those distracting elements pulled me out of the focus of the image.
Thanks, George. That's great. Well, that is the last print in this part of the single capture family category. So we've seen that. Now the single capture is everything done in camera. I'm just going to read out the preamble, which is right at the bottom. So the single capture was intended for reward technical and creative excellence in photographing and represent an authentic representation of a scene without the benefit of creative compositing techniques. So the next category is family open. Entrants may utilise all post-production techniques, including multiple images or elements in producing their entry. So I'm going to, assuming that, this panel's a safe panel, I'm going to hit next. Print, please. Can we have next print, please? Oh, hang on. Oh, next set. There we go. We haven't got a preview on the internets. No, just hold on a sec. Sure. So today we're judging the 2019 AIPP EPSON SA NT Professional Photography Awards and we're on the family category. Super big thanks to EPSON for putting this event on for us all, and CR Kennedy for being the sponsors of the family category. And a big thanks to our wonderful volunteers, one of whom, Sue Lewis, is now just finding out why things are broken.
Because you haven't pressed start judging.
I haven't pressed start judging is why. Because the panel chair is a numbney. Dun, da, da. Thank you for your patience with me. Wow, this is a silver award. Congratulations on 83. I might ask for a quick comment from Victoria, who was just on there.
There's a beautiful story in this, and I think the way the photographers handled the lighting and the printing reflects the confronting nature of this story, as well as the beautiful softness that a mother has with her son.
Beautifully said. Can we have our next print, please? So when we say we're judging the SA and NT Professional Photography Awards, that means Northern Territory is here as well. Can we just do a quick judge change? G, could you please pop in, please? Oh, okay. Okay. Yep. No, we'll just hold judges for a sec. One sec. Whilst the baby's not crying, we'll hold on a little bit longer. So, listening to the live stream could be people from all over the place, including Northern Territory, which we're judging their prints, which is wonderful. Not just South Aussies. So this print scores 78, high professional practice. Can I please ask for a comment from Melissa on this?
Sure. Excellent storytelling here. The two boys are sensational. I think Mum, her expression is quite not enough. And I know mums can get tired and stuff like that, but I would have liked to see a lot more animation in Mum's expression. But overall, an excellent professional practice image.
Thank you. Can we have our next print, please? I don't think we've ever had an AIPP baby judge, like a judge that's a baby. Are you getting influenced anywhere there, Victoria? You'll get it. Mel, just waiting on you.
Oh, I thought I'd already submitted mine. Sorry.
That's a good. So this print scores an average of 79, which is very high professional practice. Can I please ask for a comment from George, please?
Yeah, I think what could have brought it up more for me into the silver range was I was searching for a story between the couple or the two people looking directly at the camera. And there was a distracting element on the top left-hand side, the highlights drew my eye out of the frame. So possibly in this situation, finding that story and conveying that clearer would have helped bring it up.
Thanks, George. Can we have our next print, please? This print is a silver award on 80. I'm going to ask for a comment from Laurie on this, please.
This reminded me of a film still. It's just a moment of kids. It's actually a sad story. Most family stories seem to be happy, but this one's a sad one, and I think it's one that a lot of us can relate to. Beautifully captured, and the black and white of it gave it that timeless. So well done to the photographer.
Thank you. Lovely comment. Next print, please. We're judging the 2019 AIPP EPSON Essay and NT Professional Photography Awards. This is the family category and the family open category. It's sponsored by CR Kennedy. Thank you, CR Kennedy, and thank you, EPSON, for making it happen. And super terrific thanks to Marden Senior School and Mal from Marden for making this happen, providing the venue. It's just wonderful. And all the volunteers that make this happen. It's just an amazing event, and it takes a lot of heavy lifting. So thank you all. So this print averages 78 high professional practice. Can I please ask for a comment from Gary Cranich?
I suppose with a situation like this, everything's got to be just about spot on, and I think some skin tone issues there, maybe a little bit of change in colour balance to something a little bit warmer might have taken me a little bit further, but having said that, it's still good, solid professional practice, and I think that's pretty much what we're recognising here.
Great, thank you. Thank you very much. Next print, please. So this print averages 74. Is everybody happy with that? Yep, cool. Can I please ask for a comment then from Melissa? Okay, Gary.
Yeah, so sort of on the lower end of professional practice, I think if you're going to do this kind of editorial style of capture of family and relatives and all that style of thing, you've got to think about the elements and how they come together and whether they're cohesive. And I was just drawn away from the subject matter, which is of the image of the two girls to the truck. So those two elements didn't gel together in the end. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Now, is anyone needing a break? Because I'd like to change that up. Yep, Victoria. David, could I ask you to step in, please? David Hattie for Victoria Berwick-Murray. And interstaters, you doing good? Excellent. And can we have our next print, please? Yeah, good. You're doing great. You're awesome.
Should I change judges after you've accepted next print, please?
No. No, it's fine. I don't need matters. Well, maybe it does matter.
Let's change it up. Do I do it after?
Yeah. Yeah, because it could register that judges at school. Not that it's a major issue. They're not tracking that stuff, but it's only if there's some sort of question that comes into play. Well, this average is 79. It's a very interesting spread. May I have it? Yes, I've got a challenge from Melissa Newman. I'll accept that challenge. Go for it. Pick up your weapon.
All right. There is some printing issues with this one, which the fact that the left-hand side is a lot darker than the right-hand side and a few things like that. And I'm pretty sure that this child's not going to be overly happy with this image when she's about 18. But I think it's a very, it's beautifully crafted, but it's also got a real quirky little storyline in here as well, which I looked at the assessment guide, and it really does have a higher level of communication, and I don't think I've ever seen a potty training shot in a family category before. So as far as being a bit more unique, I was putting it up into that higher range. The fact that it's at a 79, I think we need to perhaps have another look at it. This little person is in their own little world, doesn't give a stuff about anybody else. Obviously, she's got everything that she requires in her own space, and she feels really comfortable there. The lighting is very nice. The fact that she's got this little hidey hole as well in the background, where she can hide away, but she's quite happy to sit out. Obviously, we've got a tent, so she's out outside of her tent and looking at the wilderness, enjoying the view and reading her book. And I just felt that for me it was unique, it was a bit different, and the image should be rewarded for that.
Excellent. Can I please ask for a comment from, let's go with George on this, please.
Yeah, I think at first I really enjoyed the concept, the story. I feel it's a really authentic image, having a little girl myself. Yeah, some of those printing issues, the darkness on the left-hand side and the highlights on the right sort of takes my eye away from the centre subject. So, but I'm considering. I think you've persuaded me to come up a few points.
David, would you please contribute?
Yes, it is darker on the left and lighter on the right, but I'm with Mel with this little story idea, and it's a very clean print. It's lovely and clean. Everything's just there, And just as a nice little quirky extra, little girls reading Little Miss Sunshine, you can just imagine what she might actually be like. And if you wanted to take it that far, then there's all that sunshine coming from a tent in the right-hand side and all those sorts of things. But it's just that case of she's probably, story-wise, she's has to sit there. That's her job, but she really doesn't care. And I think the communication side of things has come through from the photographer very well.
Great.
So I scored at 82.
Great, thank you. All right, Mel, I think your reply, please.
I think it's all pretty much been said. The image is really showing to me something that's a little bit more unique and different.
Excellent. Well, let's all rescore. Mel's holding hers. Bingo, 82. Congratulations. Gosh, I love a challenge. And well argued, everybody. Beautifully argued. Next print, please. Big thanks to the State Council for all their hard work and the team that set up yesterday. It's a long day setting this room up, and thank you so much. And it was heroic effort. Also, thanks to EPSON, the sponsor of these awards, and C.R. Kennedy for the sponsor of this category, which is the family category, and we're judging family open. This print averages 76. George, can I ask for a comment from you, please?
Yeah, nice moments. I think for me to bring it up higher, there's a bit of printing issues, so the dark vignetting around the image, the lighting. There's also some expression. I was buying everyone's expression except for the little girl. So yeah, maybe just looking at that.
Cool, thank you. Next print, please. Welcome to all those remote viewers watching on live stream. I hope you're having a nice time in bed with your doonas pulled up and hot chocolate in tow. Not jealous. This print scores 73. Gary, can I ask you to comment, please?
Look, I think a location like this, which is a fantastic location, I think the photographer perhaps could have just made a bit more of the location in terms of time of day and how the lighting was applied to this group, because they're a really fantastic group. And I think that's what the photographer's been drawn to, and the relationship between the graphic and the family. But we still need to see those expressions through lighting. So lighting is the key thing that has kind of got me into that area of lower end of professional practice. Yeah.
Great, thank you, Gary. Can we have our next print, please? Big thanks to the print handlers out the back, Diana, Joelle, Nicole, and Beck. It's wonderful having you out there with your gloves on, being very careful and doing a great job. Oh, another silver award, 83. Congratulations. How great. Laurie, do you want to make a comment?
Thanks for choosing me, because I was quite keen to say something about this.
Well, actually, I was lining up on you thinking, you haven't said anything for a while.
Yeah. Look, this is very well executed. The printing is beautiful. For me, I would have liked to have taken this a little bit higher, because I think there's a hero shot in that, and by itself, it stood out, and that's the second shot of them together.
Cool. All right,
But
lovely.
well done.
Great comment. Next print, please. So this print averages 78. How do we all feel about that? Oh, I can see a challenge coming. Is that a challenge? It is. We've got Laurie here with a hand up. I'm accepting it. Yay.
Okay, apart from the moment that's actually been captured here, the printing of this is really quite beautiful. There's the background is just, it feels like I can't touch it, but it's like velvet. I would have brought this up into the silver distinction range, perhaps even higher, if there was a little bit more space around it. But I feel like the moment that the family has experienced here, and the dog just about to almost go in and lick, and they're all like preempting the fact that it's going to touch me and it's going to be gross, and it's, I don't know, it reminds me of a family moment that I've had before, and I guess that's why I became quite emotional towards it. It's just luscious. It's beautiful. So I've given it a good silver, and I'm hoping that you guys have a look at it again and feel what I felt.
Cool. David, can I ask you to comment, please?
Yes, I scored at 76, which I put into a good professional portrait category, and I do agree with Laurie with the moment of you just don't want to be close to that dog right now, and the expressions were really well captured, as is done for a professional portrait. I just found the lighting perhaps to be a little harsh and sort of flat, so I just wanted to get a little bit more in that sort of feel for me to bring up into the silver award range, but I'll listen further.
Okay, I might ask Laurie to respond to that unless another judge is... Okay, no? Cool. Laurie, tell us more.
What else can I say? It's just, I don't know. There's just something about it that's captivating for me. I think that's what photography is generally about, is the emotional attachment that you get to something when you see it. And it's just a beautiful family interaction. The expressions are all genuine. The family member, including the dog, he's a part of that group. It's just beautiful. It's just, I don't know what more to say, guys. Just give it a silver.
Good. Well, let's rescore, and you need to hold your score. And I do like the luscious word. It started with a 78, so we got a few points to shift it. So we're on an 81, a silver. Congratulations, Laurie. I think it's the word luscious that did it. I want to encourage judges to use such lovely words. That's just what we need to hear more of. Can we have our next print, please? G, can I ask you to swap out for David, please? No. It's all good. I was thinking the same thing. We're just going to get each other's back. It doesn't matter. So this print scores 76. Is everybody happy with that? Excellent. There is a challenge? There's a challenge. Oh gosh, another challenge. I'm going to accept it from Laurie on 82.
Okay, I actually found this really quite confronting. And I know we're in the family category, and I looked at it and I questioned it, and I felt, and my heart's beating, because for me, there's something quite sinister about this image. And I don't know if that's the intention, but that's what I'm getting from it. Yeah, I guess I've sort of taken this from the approach of it being quite an emotional piece, and that there's something else going on. So the story for me is quite sinister, and you can read into that whatever you like. So I've given it a silver award, and yeah. I'd, what was the score range?
So it was at 76, and we've got down to 74 up to yours on 82.
Yeah, okay. So that's the approach I've taken, is it's gone straight in for the emotional impact that it's given me, and the story that I'm getting from her, her eyes looking back, almost asking for help, and whoever that person is, and we're in the family category. So, yeah. Let's have perhaps look at it with different eyes, and sort of feel that moment that's captured. With that.
Okay, I'm going to ask G to comment on that as well, please.
Laurie, I really respect your view of this story. I guess for me, my angle on it is, kids get grumpy at family gatherings and things like that. So it's I read it as kid chucking a nana and having a bad day. So, and I guess I see a lot of these images in my line of work. So I would love to see the technical handling, the darkening at the bottom, crop that off, come up into the face, really start telling those stories, and we can add that sinister look through our processing and storytelling, but haven't quite nailed it for me. But I really appreciate your standpoint.
I think we do need one further comment. Any of the judge, Gary, would you like to make a comment?
Yeah, I see where you're coming from, Laurie. Yeah, I laboured long and hard about where I was going to score this, and it's interesting. You've pointed to some things that I hadn't read initially, and perhaps that's what was going on in my head, was this juxtaposition between these piercing set of eyes and then this strange, almost aloof figure who doesn't actually seem that engaged with the child that he's holding. Now, whether or not that's the intent, or I don't know. See, this is this whole thing about interpretation of what we're looking at, and it was really interesting to hear your interpretation. So, yeah, I'm still listening. Thanks.
Great. Laurie, you right to finalise?
Yeah, I just don't know what more I can add to it. Like I said, it was the initial impact for me. So, and I always think about what's the purpose of photography, and it is capturing something, and it's a visual interpretation of what the photographer has seen, and it could be completely nothing like what I'm picking up from it, but it's that emotional visual connection with life that we are in, And what it does, this is, for me, this is what art is all about, and photography does that.
Cool. Thank you. All right, we're going to all rescore with Laurie holding hers on 82, please. And now on a silver. Congratulations on 80. And that's why we have 5 judges, because someone will see a story that the others don't see and, you know, can help us understand perhaps what the story is. All right, can we have our next print, please? I want to say big thanks to EPSON and C.R. Kennedy for being the category sponsor. We're judging the 2019 AIPP EPSON SA and Northern Territory Professional Photography Awards. This is the family category you're watching or listening to. It's sponsored by C.R. Kennedy, and it is the open category where entrants can use all the post-production techniques, anything they want. Even magic. This print scores an average of 78, and we have a challenge from Mel. I'm going to accept that challenge.
Joy is the word here. Now, there is some technical issues which I could see why it could be held down a bit, because you've got the highlights that are not well handled on here. But as soon as I saw this really encaptures this little kid's joy of just being out in nature and breathing fresh air, and just the fact that there's little artifacts flying around in the air and dust, and I just saw joy, and that's why I put it into that Silver Award category. I felt that it really just communicated that particular word so well.
Lovely. I think it'd be worth hearing from George.
I saw this image professional standard and love the lighting used in this shot. I feel it was a bit heavy on both sides of the kid on either side, and the lighting coming from the top looked a little bit unnatural to suit her expression. So, like, I feel the emotion, so yeah, I'll consider changing my score slightly, but to bring it up to that silver range, I think it needs a little bit more polish with the printing.
Lovely. Mel, do you want to do your recap, please?
Yeah, sure, there's probably not that much more that I can say, but I just see her going, ah, and it's the whole light coming down on her, and, you know, it's almost like she's on a stage, but it's all nature, and I think it just should be rewarded for the joy that it's demonstrating.
All right, let's rescore this, please. Print stays the same on 78. Nice try. Worth a shot. Great comments. All right, next print, please. Oh, David, can I ask you to sit in, please? All right, we have a silver award on 81. Congratulations. I think I need to hear from David, please. Can I have a quick comment from you for the photographer?
Yes, it's a lovely capture with all the breast pumps and just the madness of having to have twins like that and keep on going, and just the simplicity of the capture just made it that moment that you just walk into a room and you see all these sorts of things happening without too much fuss and bother being added to the image to detract from it.
Great, well done.
Can I just quickly say
Yes, Laurie.
something? I just wanted to also say that if that is a real set scene for that mum of twins, I would applaud her as well, because as a mother of multiples, that's pretty organised.
Wonderful stuff. All right, thank you so much. That is the end of our category. So we just need to say, before we all run off and excitedly, super terrific thanks to C.R. Kennedy for sponsoring the category and EPSON for being the award sponsors for the 2019 AIPP SANT Professional Photography Awards. This has been the family category. Thanks to the volunteers out the back and thanks to Sue. 5 minutes for what? What do you want to do? Oh yeah, so you've only got 5 minutes, judges. You can't go far.
Do you want the same judges back?
Oh, I don't know. Thank you very much. We'll just stop the live stream.